No, Murph, what's up? Murphy
What's going
from
on?
Bucs On Deck, Substack. Of course, you can check them out. They talk all things Pirates, prospects, really good stuff. That's why we bring you on to talk about the future. And you know what? The future once again is now. So, what we got going on this week? Who's been cooking down in the minors?
Uh, like you guys mentioning, Nick Yorke, Billy Cook. They've been playing really well. Nick Yorke, especially, like he's played 11 games since the trade. He's gotten hits in all 11 games. Had 8 hits last week. He's played center field a couple times now, and left field. So expanding the positional flexibility there. You said probably have a need at second base. I mean, I think he's probably the most ready of the players down there right now. That's looking for a shot. He's making really good contact using all fields. Like I said, now he's playing center field, a little bit of left field and stuff like that. So just, I love the trade. That was probably my favorite trade, bringing in Nick Yorke at the deadline. The Cook one's grown on me a little bit more. But I think if you're looking for someone to maybe give a little bit of a jolt in the lineup, Nick Yorke maybe that kind of guy that you look to at this point.
Is the power starting to come around a little bit here?
He like the exit velocity numbers has looked pretty good. He uses the opposite field a lot, so he goes the other way a lot. He's like shown some power that way too with it, but maybe not like traditional. I haven't really seen him like really turn on a ball and pull it really far, but the couple doubles that he's put the other way have like gone to like the right center field wall. So like he's putting some thumps in the ball kind of thing. So Cook finally played center field for the first time, I believe, over the weekend. He's mainly been playing on the corners. Nick Yorke's actually played center more than Cook has. So I thought that was kind of interesting because Yorke's never played center field professionally yet. So
Yeah, I found that really interesting also.
mhm.
But again, it kind of makes sense. Like let's see if it can happen because again, if you're talking about the future, like Michael A. Taylor's not a part of this team next year, likely. Of course, if he is, they have to resign him. But there's no answer at center field, and that's why like the Jazz trade we're kind of pushing. It made a lot of sense because it's not as if like this free agency market has a whole lot coming in there for center field. Also to say, well, if we miss it on this, let's just go after that guy.
Mhm.
So, you make this trade. And I'm with you. Like, I did like the trade a lot. I mean, Quinn Priester, I'm not writing him off as a player by any means. I think there's some talent there. And if he, figures out in Boston, which he did in his first start there with them at AAA.
He's allowed like 10 earned runs in like 6 innings so far with Boston's AAA team.
Yeah.
It hasn't. Yeah, the second start wasn't that much better than the first one.
Right. But like to me, it's like one of those things like if he figures it out, it's fine because
Yeah.
where's the room for him right now, especially if Bubba Chandler's coming up next year and such. You traded off something where you have and you got something in need, and Nick Yorke I find intriguing as well. So like if he can play center field, maybe there's some help. I don't know if he's going to be the
Yeah.
answer, but it's nice to know that he can play. If he can be some type of utility, or if he's the future IKF when IKF is gone after next year, like stuff that you want to know. And like you said, but Billy Cook, he has played, and they said, well, we know you can play. I guess let's find out what else you can do. So like, I don't mind the way they're utilizing it right now. Just seeing like their abilities and how far they can expand.
Yeah, I mean the even like when you look around the league, the Dodgers moved like their top catching prospect to left field when they promoted him to AAA. Just kind of like, well, let's see how this works, and if it looks good, now we have another option down the stretch and stuff like that to bring up, and because obviously they have Will Smith behind the plate, so
Right. They have all
creating more options, and that's always a good thing to have. So that's what the Pirates are trying to do, and Nick Yorke's a guy who like he was drafted, and it was well known that he's probably going to be a second baseman for a reason, kind of like Tamar Johnson. Like he's a little bit limited defensively, So, but like, I mean, it's AAA. So worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, if it doesn't look pretty there, then like you just kick him back to second base, and he's a above average hitting second baseman. So, which you still is still theoretically still could be a need. I mean, we're not sure. Nick Gonzalez was really good when he first came up, and he kind of cooled off towards getting hurt. So,
But right.
I, I think anybody that hits above average is a need on this team right now.
I mean, you're you're not wrong there. You're not wrong. So definitely not
Yeah,
wrong.
I think there's really only two answers. It's Brian Reynolds and O'Neill Cruz. Those are locked. Anywhere
Yeah,
else, still looking.
yeah, yeah. Right. So
Let's take this over to Billy Cook real quick.
mhm.
Any concern with the strikeout or swing and miss at all? Kind of a higher strikeout guy early in his career, cut those down, and then small sample size, but they're up a little bit right now.
There has been some swing and miss on there. There's a couple he chased a little bit there. I feel like it'd be something definitely to monitor and stuff like that. It was mainly what I've seen. Mainly, it was like just early game, like fastballs, maybe just trying to jump out on something. Maybe maybe can help being a little more patient at the plate, kind of thing. Just kind of like chill, wait for the kind of pitch, his pitch. But when he's made contact, it's been really good contact, and like I could also too is like, man, he's just new team. Maybe he's just trying to play his way out of AAA, kind of thing. Maybe trying to do a little too much at this point. So we'll see things how go. Like once he starts settling in and stuff like that, maybe that comes down a bit. But yeah, I have noticed some swing and miss and stuff like that. But like I said, it might be just kind of trying to do too much right now because he has been when he has been hitting the ball, he's been hitting it really well, quite a bit of extra bases and stuff. So
What about the speed? Because it seems like he's really showing the wheels right now. And this
well,
year with Baltimore, he had,
he
I
has
think,
like 4 or
18,
5 stolen
16.
bases in
He
the
has 4 right
in a
now
couple
in
games.
8
Yeah,
games.
yeah. So yeah, there's some speed there. I think that's what initially kind of like at first, I was a big Patrick Riley guy, so like I was like, okay, well, kind of sucks to see him go. But then like, okay, well, there are a couple places talking about like plus speed there, and maybe he's a guy who can kick over to center field, and obviously with Baltimore in their AAA team, he's not going to have that much of an opportunity to play center field, because they're loaded with prospects, so especially in the outfield. So this trade obviously becomes a lot better if he can play center. So they did him once there. He looked pretty good out in center. Um, we'll just see how much more opportunities he gets and stuff like that. But you could definitely tell there's at least above average speed there that they're playing with him. So
Yeah, it's you talk about the trade, how the York one was your favorite.
mhm.
Um, I know you're such a big Patrick Riley guy, so I can kind of feel how you probably didn't like that one too much.
Yeah,
What's it going to take for
initially.
Billy Cook to win you over from trading a guy like Patrick Riley?
I mean, I think he's on the right path for it right now. I really have like what I saw. Like I said, it was like my initial reaction. Obviously, was like you know, dang, I didn't want to give up Patrick Riley. I was hoping we could hang on to him. But then the more I read it, the more I saw maybe that there's a potential center fielder there. Um, yeah, the center field is definitely, especially in the upper levels, probably one of the bigger needs that the team has. Like you said, there's a lot of needs that the team has and stuff like that, but center field's right up there just because I don't know if there's a clear cut pitcher throughout this system unless you want to talk about the guy who can't be named when Jim is on, who played center field for the first time finally. Um,
Yeah, that's right. He did.
so not much down there in the system and stuff like that. So if Cook can come in and handle that, like that's having a bona fide center fielder. That's incredibly valuable in any system, which we've seen very first-handedly.
Right. Cool.
So yeah.
Did you have any more, Tyler, on them too?
No, I really was interested in the speed aspect of it because we have seen him be aggressive on the bases, and he was a 30
Yeah.
stolen base guy in Baltimore. Kind of saw
Mhm.
him fall off a little bit this year, but seems to be back.
Prob I would say probably just seems more like opportunity. Maybe the opportunities weren't there and stuff like that, depending where he was hitting in the lineup and stuff like that. So, and he was playing like a lot of first base, so maybe they were just having him prioritize hitting or something like that. So,